Hi, this is Bill, and I wanted to present to everybody my final project for the summer uh, web multimedia design for educators course. Um, what I did for the course, I think if anybody saw my update number two, I have a friend of mine who's been teaching insurance licensing for a long time, uses paper manuals still hands out a lot of paper and does the training firsthand, face to face. And this looked to me to be an opportunity to take and use a lot of what we've learned in this class and apply it to his course. So the course I'm presenting today, or the program I'm presenting today, is a course I developed for him. You'll get to see my client here in a second. And the whole idea here is to lay out the course in a manner that could be presented to somebody in an online format or a hybrid format. They could either do most of the work online and then come in for occasional lectures, or the course actually has the capability to do lectures online. And just two things as I'm going through to just be clear. So this is a course that prepares people for taking the examination. It's not a course to teach people the insurance industry. And that's important for the functions that I've selected here. And the course was also designed in a system called Course Sites by Blackboard. I had originally planned to design the course in Course Builder from Google, but that requires a lot of IT support to get that system to work fully on a home laptop, and I wasn't able to do that. So I found Course Sites to be very easy to use. I'll point out some deficiencies as I go through it. Did some silly things, but overall, for what I needed for this exercise, it was fine. All right, so the course starts out with a course management screen. This is a typical things. We see the same things in e-college, where it has announcements, it has tasks, it has schedules. These are all interesting. Just to stick with the multimedia side of the course, the picture above, I actually took the picture, so there's no need for a copyright on this one. This is Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Took it last Tuesday. Just happened to be there. And Course Builder allows you to build pictures like this into the course to make it a little bit more friendly. Um, the other thing that was interesting, I'll show you a quick one here, is that you're allowed to do a lot of web links, and in this case, I just made up one, and this is a web link for somebody to call Mark on Hangouts to discuss commercial owner's policy with type of insurance, and I was able to create a hyperlink that takes you right out to Hangouts, and then they can make that call. So Mark could put this on the task list for each individual in the training, and they could access Hangouts and get in contact with Mark. Now, what's interesting, I'm going to do this now. It's the same thing throughout the system. Was I would have liked to have been able to use some cute icons for these web links, but you really couldn't. I had actually created a couple. I'll share with you, everybody, on Gravit Design. These actually are out of the stock. I didn't create these, but I had actually planned on using push buttons. But the way that uh, the Core Sites system works, the information is either text box, or you have the best you can do is highlight box text like I did. So I wasn't able to use icons that I created, but that's okay. So anyway, back to the discussion of the course. So that's a really nice feature that these web links are available, because I use those throughout the program. The second part of the program is a program description. This is something we've all learned through our time in Rutgers. I spent a lot of time in course design, struggled through course design, but I was able to learn these kind of things. So I was able to create a project program description. Still work in progress, but again, I was able to do something I wanted to do, and that was color code different modules program because some of these modules are the same for different types of insurance, and others are different and unique to each type of insurance. So I want to be able to color code these. So the red module, for example, is the same in 7 different licensing exams. So once I have that module created, I can use that in whichever exam we're training for. The blue one is probably used out of 4 out of 7, and the green are unique for each one. So I've created this link, and again, it's just the highlighted text, but you can click on that, and that will take us right out to the module number 1, and we can work on that. Created an instructor tab. There's Mr. Greif here on the right-hand side, and I was able to get Mark to give me a quick video. He recorded it at his office with his partner on his iPhone, sent it to me. I was able to convert it to a YouTube, upload it. I was able to steal the picture off of it, and we're able to meet Mark here for trainees. So I think you get the idea there. So that was an interesting feature and a nice way to use multimedia. Um, I'll go back to the modules. So the modules are here available so that you can either get to the modules from the program description or from this particular selection, the learning module selection. Um, and I've only have one loaded up right now, module 1. That's the one I've been working on. For my relationship with the client, this is important that we get this right before we spend too much time on this project. And as I said, Mark has a manual for the property and casualty license exam. It's probably 300 pages. It's 10 sections. He calls them sections. But this first module is an important one because, again, it's the same for all 7 Pennsylvania insurance licensing exams. So getting this one right is important. So right now I have it in 2 parts. The first part is a Word style document. You can see it here. I think if anybody looked at my update 2, you saw that it was previously just a paper document. Now it looks a lot nicer. And what's nice is that in Word and other versions, I'm able to go down here. Let me see if I can find it and do a couple things that were fun. For example, I created a link here that points out that this is an exam question. So it's so when the reader's going through this and doing their studying, they can see that it's a exam question, and the answer here is C, and it's explained better in this paragraph. I was also able to embed some audio here. All right, and so that was a capability I was able to create, and again to reinforce the important things in the reading that the person needs to focus on for the exam. And again, the purpose being that we're trying to make sure that they pass the exam here. Okay, so the other thing I was able to do with a program called Quizlet was to create flip cards. One of our readings, I think it was the second or third week, it talked about reinforcing methods, and flip cards are a reinforcing method. So once somebody goes through and studies the manual, gets the readings right, um, understands them, then we want to refocus them on what they really need to understand for the test. So through Quizlet, I was able to create this set of flip cards, which are actually questions from the test in a flip card fashion to get the trainee to convert what they've read to what they really need to know. So Quizlet's not very seamless, but it works. And what was really nice here was, I was able to not only create the flip cards, but also get the Quizlet to do reading here.
All of the following are prohibited insurance practices, except A. Misrepresentation.
All right, so that's the flip card, and the answer should be C. All right, so you can see how that tool works very well. And again, as somebody goes through the reading, they should be doing their highlighting, which they'll be able to do in the document, and then go to the flip cards and then reinforce how the two things come together. So that's the learning modules. Um, the other thing that I put in here is something that takes some of the information and makes it broader. Again, we're not trying to teach somebody the insurance industry, but there are concepts in the test you really need to understand quite well. And actually, when you get out to things like the life and annuities exam, you really have to understand them more than just answering a question. So here's one example. I always like this concept. It's a simple concept of insurance, and there's probably typically out of a 160 question test, there's probably 2 to 3 questions on this concept of insurable interest asked in different formats. So what I did was I created a screencast of a Prezi. Um, All right, so you can see that I was that screencast will be helpful to somebody wanting to understand insurable interest better. I also included the presentation, the Prezi itself. Prezi's works very well actually with course sites. It's a little slow, but Prezi, I think we're all aware now, is a little slow in loading because it's such a complicated program. But here's the program. Same thing I said when I did the audio. Here's the definition. Um, if somebody wants to understand examples, here's some examples that they can go through and read. Um, let's see if I can get this one to work. And there's the answer. So it's a good interface for Prezi, and Prezi has a lot of capabilities to do some teaching through the presentation. So I really like that. I'm going to skip over course tools, go to resources here, and I'll come back to course tools. Resources, again, these are YouTube or website videos that are additional information and all things that help people. Sticking with our discussion on copyright, I was very careful only to use YouTubes that had a standard YouTube license, which means that they could be reused. And where they did have a website reference, I did include that link just so that people didn't think I was stealing their information. So this is a nice reference. This will build out over time. The modules will build out over time. The key insurance concepts will build out over time. One thing I did want to say before I forget, because I'm going to talk about this at the end. Again, just an interesting thing in course sites. When I was able to create this, I wanted all this to be in red because it's a red module. You can see this is in red, but there was no way to make this flip card web link in red. So just some, again, some things point out course sites that are just quirky as you go through. All right, so bringing you back to the module now. Now that's what I've done. Okay. Now the rest of it is kind of a user interface situation that I want to kind of go through and explain. So there's a set of tools that could be used by the user, by the trainee over the course of the training. One of the tools is a glossary, and again, this isn't built out yet, but again, using insurable interest as the concept, I was actually able to so you're able to see the definition explained. Um, The other one was a journal, and this was kind of cool because the person, as they're doing their learning, and again, 21st century learning, journals become an important part. But this what was really cool here was I was really frustrated that I couldn't direct audio. Instructor Dudley had said, why don't you try and do it using your phone? And I was actually able to go out on my iPhone and um, I can actually see the website. It's very small. It's hard to use, but it is there and fully functioning. And I was actually able to make a recording on my iPhone and copy it into my journal here. So again, another feature that enables the user. Um, this is the last tool, and this is an interesting tool because we wanted to have the capability to do lectures online with the users. And this is a capability within CoreSites called CoreSites Live. You could also do this externally with GoToMeeting or WebEx. Um, and I have been advised that those are probably better tools because of security. But for the purposes of this class, I did go ahead and play around with Core Sites Live, and it really is quite cool. So I want to show you this. This does take a long time to load up, though. It's not very seamless in terms of the way it loads up. It's kind of bulky, and it does take some time. You have to tell it to run, and eventually does go to the collaboration screen. And it does load up and I can go to video and you all can see me. I can talk or if I was doing training I could actually have presentation material here and walk people through it. So quite a very cool tool. Not sure whether or not we're going to use it for this program, but I did build it into this version. The last two things, actually three, I'm sorry, three things I'm excited about. Um, again, this is a course to teach people how to take an exam. And I can tell you that the PA exam it's presented in a online on screen test, 160 questions in a very stark room in a cubicle, and I just felt that from my own learning that it would be good to have some sort of pretest work done. So I'm calling this a simulation because the materials I'm using are from old tests, and I don't want to step on anybody's toes here. So we call this a simulation, and I did this actually in a program called the Easy Test Maker. Not a bad program. It's not free in the end. I'm going to spell my name wrong here just because. I've taken quite a few tests, and if I don't do it, and I had that code. You saw that was a GP 44YS. But anyway, back to the easy test maker. It was free to get started, but after a certain period of time, it's not free, and you don't get your stuff back. So I I had to actually pay for it to be able to finish out this course, but that's fine. Anyway, so the test, this is almost what the tests look like when you get it at the licensing center. Um, you just you just go ahead and check it and move on. I'm going to answer some questions incorrectly and some questions I'm not even going to answer. So this one I won't even answer. Um, this one's this one. I know that's right. And this one is this one. I know that's right. So it tells me that I've answered the five questions. The third one I didn't answer. I can make my own decision. Am I finished? Finish the test, and then I can download my results. And this is something Mark really wanted, was to make sure that I did have the correct that I did show the trainee the right and wrong answers from the trial exam. So we were able to do that for him. I'm not sure why this fourth one didn't work out, but you can see one and five are correct. Two, the we blue. This blue is the answer we selected. Green is the correct answer. The one where we didn't answer gives us the correct answer. And I guess I clicked the wrong button here. All right, so you can see that the test is very simple to use, and the results are very helpful. Somebody could actually print this out when they're done. I also have a discussion board that I'm not going to spend a lot of time on, but again, hold on. Okay. Again, somebody can go out and we can create a series of discussions here about the course as well as information people just don't understand. And then the last thing I did, this was a recommendation from Instructor Dudley, was to create a help lecture help screen, and these are all live screencasts um, that I did. And again, this one explains to use the Course Sites Live that I just showed you. And then this is one on how to use the exam feature that I just walked everybody through. And then last but not least, Course Sites does give you a help capability for how to use the system in case you have any problems. So I included that. So again, I think I got everything covered. The next task obviously is to flesh it out and build content. I have to review it with my client, Mr. Greif, next week and see what his thoughts are on the system. So take a look. I appreciate everybody's help this semester. If you have any questions or have any comments, please let me know. And if you want to be invited to play around with the system, send me a Slack and I'll send you an invite. I need to have your email to be able to do that. Okay. Have a great day. Great semester. It was wonderful to get to know everybody. Thank you.